Welcome to Eat Sleep Nerd, a podcast where you can check out, go AFK, and relax with us as we discuss all things nerd. Comic books, video games, movies, TV shows, and anything else that gets geeks more worked up than Luke Skywalker bullseyeing womp rats.
Welcome to episode number 38. I'm your dorky DJ, Corey Winter, and as always, I am joined by my nerdy brother, Josh Winter, and our geeky friends, Jason Summer and Christian James.
Happy New Year!
Happy Nerd Year. In this episode, we discuss announcements and developments that we hope to get out of 2023. And before we get into the show, please do not forget to share this show with everybody, and don't forget to click that subscribe button on your podcast app to make sure you always get the latest episodes as they release. Gentlemen, we are in the brand new Eat Sleep Nerd studio. Except for Jason.
No, we're not.
Except for Jason.
We have a custom-built studio just for Eat Sleep Nerd. We have a bunch of nerdy things all over the room. We have a nice podcasting table, nice monitors everywhere. Oh, it's nice, guys.
Are we going to share some pictures?
We will be sharing pictures. The whole reason we built this studio is because we're planning to eventually start doing a video show on YouTube. So this is step one of doing that.
Is that the first thing that we want to do for 2023?
Well,
Going to transition to video?
I think this is the first thing we're doing for 2023.
Talking about like new year, new nerd.
I was planning, so I'll just put it out there. I was planning by episode number 50 to be video podcast on YouTube. Yeah.
Full video.
So
maybe that can be like our celebration for episode 50 is we're on YouTube.
So I've got like 12 episodes to lose 100 pounds.
Or just buy some nice flattering clothes.
There it is.
Like
all black.
Yes.
Or you can invest in an AI program to.
So we were thinking
create an avatar.
So it's funny you say that.
Yeah, we were talking about how to make your basement look better for YouTube. And I think we just need to get an AI generated avatar for you. It's like you're just 100% computer.
I have no words for that, Corey.
My idea was every time you came on the screen, it would be like the old late 90s news cycles. We would just have a very bad picture of you that's just labeled picture on file.
You get like me eating like a hamburger shoved in my face. Like
just photo on file. Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Now that the studio is built, it is picture ready. So we'll be sharing some pictures on our Instagram and social media accounts. But just to paint a little pretty word picture, we have a whole bunch of hot toys in here. So for those that don't know what hot toys are,
give it a Google.
They are the ultra realistic, essentially action figures that you can find for pretty much any dorky, geeky brand. So we have Marvel action figures. We have Star Wars figures. We have all of my Spider-Man figures. Those are decorating the entire room. They're pretty cool. The entire room is painted black except for our accent wall, which is the nice Eat Sleep Nerd branded red. We have an entire wall of geeky references. We have some superhero comic book pictures and Star Wars pictures and video game art. Thrip. We have a nice little Top Gun Maverick poster we got from premiere night. We got some cool stuff.
Is there a Superman symbol anywhere?
We have a Batman symbol. We do not have a Superman symbol.
So the answer is no.
I ordered a Henry Cavill hot toy, which will be here soon.
Cool.
I wanted to get them since I was telling Corey they're not going to make any more because there aren't going to be any more movies. So I should get them while I can.
Yeah.
Get them before they skyrocket in price for
that one.
Yeah. I mean, I always open mine though. Like I'm not a good collectible person because I don't keep it in the box. But
I'm saying get it now before people try to buy it.
$800, $900. Yeah.
So before we start talking about what we want from 2023, I actually want to put a little closing thread on what we talked about in our last episode about the best things that we experienced in 2022. Because we all ranked our individual things we watched and played, but we didn't actually aggregate them all together to actually rank them as a whole, which was the best of the best as a group. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that real quick, just to wrap that up. So the way I did this for movies and TV shows, it was kind of complicated because not all of us watched every single thing. Like, for example, Jason, Josh, and I all watched Top Gun Maverick. Christian did not, so we couldn't rank it. So I had to take that in consideration. So I actually did two different things. So the first thing I did was I sorted by the amount of top 5 votes a movie or TV show got. So if it had 4 votes, it was sorted by the top. If it only had 1 vote, it was toward the bottom. And then from there, I sorted by average score of what we ranked them.
Okay.
All right.
Feel like there's some logarithms in here.
There was
And,
some math.
Okay.
So we had a 3-way tie for our 5th best movie of 2022. It was Everything Everywhere All at Once, with top 1 vote from Jason. Violent Night, a number 1 place vote from Christian, and Glass Onion, a 1 place vote from Josh. Those were all tied for 5th place. And 4th place was Prey, with an average score of 4.
I don't think that's earned.
Jason
Yes.
chuckles.
That seems weird.
In 3rd place was Top Gun Maverick, which with an average score of 3.3. Or I say average rank of 3.3.
Okay.
In 2nd place was Nope. All 4 of us ranked this one in our top 5, so the average rank for it was a 3.5. And then our best movie of 2022 was RRR.
That's great.
Had an average rank of 2.25 from us. So, all right, and then our TV shows, our best TV shows of 2022. We yet again had a tie for 5th place. Moon Knight had a 1 place vote from Christian, and 5 Days at Memorial, my best movie or TV show of 2022. In 4th place was Rings of Power with an average rank of 4.5. In 3rd place was Star Wars Andor with an average rank of 4. In 2nd place, House of the Dragon with an average rank of 3. And the best TV show of 2022, Star Trek Strange New Worlds.
Woo.
Excellent.
With an average rank of 1.7. So
And that was without Christian's
that
participation.
was after.
Wow. Yeah.
So there you go.
Even aggregating your ZIL.
I mean, I guess it's a really good show.
Yeah, we're going to get you caught up.
Right on.
So that song or that little intro always makes me think of Spider-Man for some reason.
I love a good fanfare.
I think it's the strings at the beginning. I think it's those strings that makes
it's like,
it's kind of, for me, it's reminiscent of Danny Elfman.
Yeah, that last swing in the movie in Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not itchy enough. You know what I mean?
I don't.
I know what you mean.
When he does,
I know what you
when he
mean.
does strings, it's always
Right.
those
Well,
were way
um,
those were way too swooping and melodic.
Yeah, I was listening to Michael Giacchino's. Is that how you say it?
Sure.
His score for Spider-Man: Homecoming, and he does the same thing with the strings.
Mhm.
He does the staccato plucked sound of like violins or whatever, where it sounds a little itchy.
Yep.
It's very similar, but
like
still
that.
very much his own music.
All right, so 2023.
Anyway, really-
That was
you
nerd
said that
speak.
this was going to be a
I mean, yeah.
freewheeling discussion.
I was
So-
kind of stuck on the word itchy.
Yeah, I was too.
But
So I
it
wanted to
was
get
a
off-
good
exactly
one.
what I
I
meant,
wanted
though.
to get off.
Kind
Yeah,
of.
it was a good descriptive word. Yes.
Like something crawling on.
Give
you.
the
Gotta-
man
gotta
some
pluck that
props.
Yeah.
All right, so 2023. We have a lot of expectations for this year, and we have some dates for things coming out, and people have told us what to expect, but we don't really know what's going to happen. So I just want to talk about things that we want to get out of this year, whether they have been announced or not.
First off, I hear this is going to be the year that we finally get beyond the pandemic.
Okay.
This seems
We'll see.
like deja vu a little bit.
Feeling good about it this time.
Feel like we're all going to come together and really defeat this thing.
This is the year we flatten the curve, guys.
I think this is the year we finally get Skull and Bones.
Sure, whatever. Sure. If you say so. I don't even want it anymore.
So
I don't even care.
where do we want to start this conversation? Because we have some talking points here. Some like maybe what we want to see from DC, what we want to see from Star Wars, what video game updates we want, what franchises we wanted to get revived. Where do we want to start this conversation?
I feel like we should just get DC out of the way.
Let's
Let's just get into it.
All right. So Josh, this was I think your idea that you pitched to talk about.
Well, it actually started from a link that Jason posted, I think from the Direct, who have a pretty good track record, saying that old Gunn got the go-ahead on his sales pitch to Zaslav, and that at some point this month we will be getting the first reveals about what the plan is. And what was interesting is that they did not say that they were going to reveal the plan. They said, we're going to give you the first bits of information about it. So this isn't even going to be a full reveal. So my question is, what do we think the new direction is going to be? What do we think it's going to involve? What do we think the focus is going to be? Because again, it sounds like they're going to trickle it out. So what do we think some of those first projects are going to be? We know the first one is going to be Superman, written by James Gunn, which is terrifying.
Let me say this. I think what we can expect from whatever announcements they're going to make this month, I think it's really going to be centered around what we can expect to see from DC in 2024 specifically.
Oh yeah, nothing will happen this year.
Well, no, I'm saying like the only DC movies currently scheduled and announced are through this year.
Yeah.
So I think the only things they're going to be announcing this month or what we can expect a year from now.
Sure.
So I don't think we're going to get anything beyond that.
No. This will be phase 1.
Yeah. But even then, I don't think Superman could be happening by next year. So what DC stuff are we getting in 2024?
Well, maybe it'll be like what Jason said, and there's going to be a little break. Yeah. Maybe we don't get anything in 2024, and everything kicks off in 2025. A nice round number.
When so I know we have 2 announced projects post 2023. It's the Joker sequel and the Batman. I believe the Batman is actually still several years away. Is Joker 2 next year?
I mean, they're already filming, and I can't imagine it's particularly effects heavy. So probably. Yeah.
So that might be like, if anything, the lone DC movie of next year.
Yeah. But even those exist in their own thing, right? Like they're the black label. They're the
when you say the lone DC movie of next year, what year are you talking? 2024?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Because I'm thinking like this year, it's already set in stone, like it's happening.
Yeah. But the death throes of the Snyderverse.
But after that, we don't have anything announced except for the Batman, the Joker 2. So something has to be announced pretty soon to give us some excitement for what's happening next. Right. So I imagine that's what's going to be announced first this month. Yeah. Now it doesn't sound like it's going to be Superman because like there's no way they can get that ready in a year.
Well, no, I think they'll still announce it though.
Maybe.
Like, I mean, it'll be a piss poor announcement because we already know they're doing it. But you get what I'm saying? I mean, I think it would have to start with the Trinity, right?
Superman, Batman.
This is what we're doing with Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
But at the same time, James Gunn does not seem like a conventional director, a conventional producer. So whereas I think Superman is going to be the place that they start, I don't necessarily believe that he would hold himself to the Trinity as the beginning for the new DC universe.
Yeah, I'd almost think that he would start off probably talking about the main universe that he wants to be in. Yeah. Rather than individual characters.
Well, okay, so that makes sense. And especially, it would explain why he wants to write Superman himself. Yes. Maybe it's not so much that he wants to write Superman. It's just that they know this is going to be the introduction to the new universe. And so he has to do a lot of world building.
I kind of wonder if the Green Lantern show is going to kind of be like the kickoff point for the next phase of the DCU.
So they've gotten very fuzzy when they talk about that show.
Yeah.
And even when they get asked about it directly, it's getting reworked. It's not going to be what we announced it was. Are we still getting it? We're doing something with Green Lantern. Like they're being very vague about what it is. I'm not even entirely sure that show exists anymore. Like I know they haven't officially canceled it, but like I said, they're being so weird and vague that, but again, that would be a good way to introduce the larger universe beyond Earth.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole point.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, Green Lantern is a good character to just center things around, at least to start until Superman comes around, because it is a big universe, big picture character.
You're saying like literally it should start the universe.
Yes.
That's a bold move. It would also be a very James Gunn move, though.
But it's also a very popular character. Like a lot of people know who Green Lantern is.
It's still a AAA character. Yeah.
But it hasn't been given a lot of attention in, a decade now? So yeah. I think it's time for it to be a central character again.
Yeah.
And to circle back around, where he made the Guardians of the Galaxy very popular.
Yeah.
So that could be a very nice kicking off point. Yeah.
Now, Green Lantern aside, you were mentioning, what characters do we want to see potentially in this first announcement?
Yeah, so I mean, like it's with Gunn, he has already said, and we just know him as a person. He wants to balance your big AAA characters with some of the ones that you don't normally get to see, and that's what a lot of his career has been trying to force in some of the ones you don't normally get to see, like Peacemaker and pretty much everyone that he did in Suicide Squad, and so I don't know. Maybe I'm just a traditionalist, but I think regardless of what else you want to add and whatever you want to shine a spotlight on, it has to start with Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Like, they're too big to ignore. Like, that was the weirdest thing about what Snyder was trying to do with his universe, is these characters were so huge, it didn't make sense that they hadn't already at least heard of each other.
Yeah.
Which is why the Wonder Woman movies basically had to ignore the part where she said she'd been in hiding for 100 years. Because then there's literally no story to tell.
What if he did like a staggered reintroduction of the three? Like, instead of going Superman and or Batman and or Wonder Woman, go Superman, Green Lantern, then Batman, then
fill them in with smaller, quote unquote,
right?
Smaller
Yeah, like
between.
alternate. Flesh out the universe, but at the same time, recognize and keep the pillars available and in use.
That would make sense.
Yeah,
I would be okay with that. I just don't want it to be like we're not even going to talk about Batman until movie 12 or something.
Well,
like what? No.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree that Green Lantern it's far past the due date to bring him on board,
and it just opens so many doors.
Mm-hmm.
You can do Earth stories, you can do intergalactic stories, you can make it as big or as small as you want it to be.
And I really think it should be Jon Stewart.
I do too.
Yeah, I think Jon Stewart is well established in the Justice League animation, and DC animation, and just use him.
I also want to get a proper Deathstroke.
We were so close.
Yeah.
We were so close, and it would have been
like,
so
I think
good.
that's one that, like, I don't know if you would consider him B tier or not, but it's definitely one of those like Peacemaker type of characters in my mind that you could make a bigger character for the DC universe.
Sure.
And I think that's one that's just been kind of sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it depends on which properties you're into. Like, he was always a pretty main antagonist of like the Teen Titans.
Yeah.
Depending on who did the writing, he was an occasional pretty big bad guy for Batman. Like, it's I get what you're saying though. That would be a good example of a character that maybe doesn't have universal recognition, but that a lot of people would get really excited to see a good adaptation of.
Yeah.
In the Arrowverse, Deathstroke was one of my favorite villains to pop up. And I really like the actor who played Manu Bennett. I wish that they had made him the cinematic actor for Deathstroke.
Yeah.
Not Joe Manganiello.
No. Sorry. I mean,
Joe
Manganiello. Yeah, he probably is a fine actor. I've not that I'm aware of. Have I seen him done anything outside Flash and Spider-Man?
Joe Manganiello.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, but yeah, I really like. Anyway, but yeah, Deathstroke. I'm on board with that one. That's good villain.
I think one more. So I'm just looking at a list of like most popular DC characters just to like refresh my memory. Would you guys consider Martian Manhunter a priority?
He's always seemed boring to me.
I wouldn't say a priority, but like he'd be an interesting mix within a lot of the stories.
Yeah.
I was very excited when he was in the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
I don't know if I particularly liked that version of it, but he was always one of my favorite parts of Justice League, the animated series. He was always really cool in that. And there's a lot of cool things you can do with that. And again, it expands into the universe as a larger whole, literally going beyond just Earth. Like, if we did Green Lantern, that would be a good series to introduce him in.
Any more wishful thinking for DC as we get close to this James Gunn announcement?
I just hope James Gunn hires writers to work with him.
I just wish them well.
Yeah.
Just literally anything.
Hopefully within our next couple of episodes, we'll be talking about some kind of big announcement, but who knows? If we've learned anything from DC, it's...
One more question.
Oh, okay.
I personally think this will work best if they went with unknowns.
Yeah,
but is there anyone that you want to play anyone, like specific?
So aside from Henry Cavill,
yeah, I know the elephant. Right, yeah.
No, I mean,
because like the longer I thought about it while I was trying to fan cast it, two things happened. A, I remembered that, what did we say, like 2 episodes ago? There are no millennial actors. Like there are no young actors. I can't. Like everyone is older than me. That's
Timothy
like
Chalamet as Superman.
when there's more things.
But you get what I mean, though?
I
like,
just don't know their names.
There's just not a lot of them, though. And so it's like, I don't know. So the only but I also think this could be a series that makes people into movie stars.
True.
Yeah.
And so, plus it helps with beating down that suspension of disbelief and everything else. I don't know who that is, you know? Like, I love Batfleck, but it was still just, oh, that's Ben Affleck every time Batman came on screen, you know? So
that was the nice thing about the first phase of the MCU, is that a lot of people didn't, like, they weren't big household names.
Right. You might recognize them.
Yeah, like everyone, for the most part, knew who Robert Downey Jr. was, but he had been off the map for a long time.
He had firmly fallen to B level at best.
But like Chris Hemsworth, he was a nobody. Chris Evans? God, so many Chris's.
You recognized him.
Yeah.
He did a lot of those like Not Another Teen movies, and it's like, really this guy?
Yeah. And like Jeremy Renner, he was making a name for himself with movies like The Hurt Locker and stuff, but for the most part, still relatively unknown.
Yeah, in a weird way, he was actually the most serious actor.
Yeah.
When they cast the Avengers.
Yeah. So for the most part, yeah, like you're proving your own point, is that the Marvel universe, it made everybody big actors.
Right.
So yeah, it would be kind of cool if DC went with unknown people for the most part.
Yeah.
Now, if I were to choose someone, I guess the only person coming to mind is someone that could play Green Lantern. And he is a bigger name just because the bigger names are the people I know. Michael B. Jordan, I think, could be a good Green Lantern.
I just feel like we're trying to put Michael B. Jordan into everything.
Yeah, but he's actually good.
I mean, yeah, like, I don't have a problem with
Yeah.
Jordan. I'm just saying. I just feel like we're putting Michael B. Jordan in everything. Also, they may or may not still be doing Black Superman.
Oh, yeah.
They never officially canceled that. I don't know if
Was it ever actually officially announced?
I mean, they announced that they were working on it.
Well, I mean, even going back to what you've said before, it's in development, but it's not.
Right.
Like,
that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
And I mean, after seeing the Creed trailer, Jonathan Majors as Black Superman.
Oh.
Or Green Lantern.
Or Green Lantern, yeah.
Or how about Michael B. Jordan as Green Lantern and what's his name as Black
Jonathan
Superman?
Majors?
Yes, him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That'd be a cool matchup.
Box office hit.
There you go. So that's DC. Hopefully we have some concrete details soon. Other side of the aisle, let's just go to Marvel. So what do we want to see from Marvel this year? And I guess another just more specific question, who is missing from the MCU?
All the mutants.
Oh, well, yeah.
Well, yeah, the X-Men.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I mean, we've reached that point. You know, we've gotten most of the big names, right? So I mean, Marvel was kind of funny because before the MCU, Marvel didn't really have A-list superheroes, right? Spider-Man, that was about it.
Yeah.
Everybody else was relatively unknown. Iron Man was not a popular hero until the MCU happened. He was firmly B-list.
Right.
Like, firmly. People recognized Thor, and that was about it. Captain America, you recognized him. Kind of. And, like, I just... It's interesting now because I would argue that when we were younger, again, before pre-MCU, X-Men were more popular than any of the Marvel superheroes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So now we've gone through the closest thing that Marvel had to A-listers, right?
Mhm.
We've gotten through the Hulk. Because let's be real. I mean, I don't know how long they're going to keep making Mark Ruffalo show up. But he's got to be he's closer to the end than he is to the beginning. Hemsworth has basically said he's done. RDJ's done. Evans is done. ScarJo is out and may never come back after the way they treated her. They say they've made up, so hopefully. But the only huge characters you have left are the X-Men.
And the Fantastic Four.
And the Fantastic Four. And then
So
like
that's-
one or two Celestial
So that's
Right.
an important
characters
thing.
like the Silver Surfer.
A new Fantastic Four movie has been officially announced. It's in it kicks off phase 6. But a new X-Men property film or TV show has not been announced, even though they own the rights to them now.
Yeah. And we're getting to the point where it's weird that we haven't mentioned something.
Yeah.
What about the X-Men 97?
So yeah, there is an animated show. If it's not been canceled, there is some speculation that maybe all the animated shows have been canceled at Disney.
No.
That's speculation. But yeah, that is the one X-Men thing they have for them.
But even that isn't really an MCU thing. That's
No,
just a
it's just-
continuation of the cartoon.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is cool because the cartoon was good. But I think one of the things that has harmed the MCU over the last phase was all of your big popular names retired, quit, or died.
Yeah.
You've got to start filling it. And I get that we're trying to make some of these smaller characters into the A-listers. But like, this feels like in the comics when all the main characters get benched and you try to make a new Avengers team. And the whole reason you do that is so that when that wraps up and you bring back the originals, everyone loses their minds.
And I think the reason in the first couple of phases in the MCU, the reason the B-list movies and characters did so well is because the MCU by itself, like these big blockbuster superhero movies, were brand new. So people wanted to see them because it was a brand new experience.
Right.
But now we've had, 10 years of these types of movies. People are not being attracted to these lower level characters because there's nothing.
I don't want to keep going to the same thing I've already seen.
Yeah.
If it's not even a big player.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. And so as much as I love like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier and everything, it's like saying you're not going to get the Justice League anymore. Here's the Teen Titans. There's lots of people who love the Teen Titans, but like that's not a replacement for the Justice League. That is an addition to, that is a supplemental. We got to start bringing in some of these bigger characters again.
Okay. So good segue. So what are some of these bigger characters you would like to see?
I mean, you got to start off with the big ones, right? You got to get Wolverine.
Yeah.
We're going to have to do Xavier again. We're going to have to do Magneto. Still pushing for the fan casting of Daniel Craig as Magneto. 1000%. I would be on board with that.
Well, so I have a little short list pulled up of just some of my picks. So obviously you mentioned a bunch of X-Men specific characters. What about people like Ghost Rider?
Ghost Rider would be dope.
Okay.
I'm just waiting for them to just go ahead and just make Norman Reedus Ghost Rider.
Yeah. It's weird that they haven't already done it.
They've been
Or
talking about this
Keanu.
for like 8 years
Keanu,
or something
he's
like that.
probably too old at this point, but
First off, you shut your mouth.
well, I guess Norman Reedus probably is too.
I was going to say, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure they're about the same age.
Yeah.
Bro. Yeah.
What about
But,
Tom
like-
Hardy? Never mind, he's already Venom.
Yeah, he's already Venom.
Never
Which may or may not count. Who knows? I don't know.
That's a whole other thing.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's something I want in 2023. I
Some-
want Sony to give up.
Just sell it to Disney.
I just
let 'em
want
have
them
it.
to. I just
Yeah.
want them to stop.
Right.
You are building a Spider-Verse with no Spider-Man, and it's
Right.
weird.
Okay, so do you want them to stop just making a universe around Spider-Man, or do you want them to give?
I literally
The
want
rights.
them to stop.
Okay, so give the rights to Disney.
Sell it back.
Sell it.
I personally don't even think, and I say this as someone who like loves Sony, like just as a company. Like I love everything about Sony. I love their equipment. I love their games. I love their everything. Their cameras are amazing. TVs are amazing. Projectors are unrivaled. Their movie studio is dying,
Mhm.
and they need to just go back to indie films. Like they need to go back to like A24 type stuff, where you don't have a large budget, but you can make a huge profit. They're trying to make blockbusters, and I feel like they don't really know how.
Mhm.
And it's
Yeah, they
becoming evident.
certainly just have the wrong people in the chair making calls.
And again, I mean, maybe we're on the verge of some huge Sonizance.
El
But-
Muerto, I think, is going to do it.
Yeah, that's going to be the one that
Or
pushes it
no,
over.
what was that Donald Glover one? Hypno Hustler.
Hypno
That's gonna do it.
Yeah.
That's gonna do it. God.
Yeah.
No, so that raises
It's a very cross-sectional character.
one of the questions you brought up. What's next for Spider-Man?
I don't know. We have a lot of unknowns. Tom Holland is kind of being wishy-washy.
Well, so I'm glad you said that because sources are saying he has signed a new contract, and they're trying to get Zendaya to sign hers. So they are working towards the next phase.
I'm leaning towards fake news.
Mm.
If I was Sony and or Disney, That would have been front page, huge press release.
I think they're
Tom Holland is
waiting.
back.
I think
Yeah.
they're waiting until they have a solid
Everybody.
plan for his
Yeah.
next 3 movies before they announce him.
I mean, they're in a good place. If they had to go forward without her, they could.
Also, though, from now on, if we think there's fake news regarding Spider-Man, we should call it Daily Bugle.
Call him Bugle.
Call him Bugle. Call him Bugle.
So
JJJ's, yeah, that's his.
I don't think the Spider-Man character, like, I know the Batman character has been very similar because there hasn't been a lot of reboots with Batman, but Spider-Man at the same time, if they were to try to reboot him again, it would be a dumpster
Disastrous.
fire because we already had the Andrew Garfield reboot, and he did not get his fair shake in his trilogy.
Yep.
And Tom Holland's Spider-Man, they were going back and forth on whether or not he was an MCU or not. So I think it was like twice they were like, oh, he's out. No, he's back in. Oh no, he's out again.
Yeah.
So if they were to do that one more time, whether it's he's back out of the MCU or they're getting someone new, I don't know if I could take it. I might literally.
I think at this point it would seem almost an oversaturation of actors playing that character, and we've rehashed up until this point in that character's life and Spider-Man's life so many times. We need it to go beyond.
I'm ready for the older Spider-Man.
I'm tired of teenage Spider-Man. I want to see the established adult has been doing this for a long time Spider-Man.
Yeah. Is comfortable doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's like everybody else's gripe about Batman. Like, how many times can we see his parents die?
Yeah.
Like, we get it. It's sad.
Even in Batman versus Superman, they still squeeze it in there.
Yeah.
So we're not going to do his parents dying, right? Well, I was thinking opening credits montage. Oh, okay, cool. No, so here's the difference between that and Batman, though. Spider-Man, I feel like through every permutation, every iteration, has more or less been done good.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's a Spider-Man story every time. And that's good. And you're correct. They keep rehashing kind of the same era over and over and over again. Logically, it would be good if the next Holland trilogy could do established older Spider-Man. I don't feel like we've ever gotten a good comic accurate Batman.
Yeah.
Like if we could do the old school Batman movies where they actually had comic villains, but treat it with the sincerity that we've treated the new Batman movies, it would be really, really good. But the last 2 iterations of Batman, well, not counting Affleck's because we just never got to see it, but Bale's and Pattinson's have both been the whole ultra grounded approach, which is how you should treat Batman, but that's not how you should treat Batman's universe. The whole allure of Batman is that he's a quote unquote normal person in a ridiculous situation.
Yeah, like there were elements from the comics, but the universe as a whole was not comic accurate.
Yeah. I'd say Affleck's Batman got the closest because it was really
and that's why I'm so upset.
It was
But even then, it was the Frank Miller's
version.
It wasn't
Batman?
even just the main line.
Yeah.
But I mean, he got really close, and if we had a standalone, I think you would have gotten your comic movie. Yeah,
I know. That's why I'm so bitter about
it.
But no, I'm being serious though.
No, I get it.
I want the movie where you can have Clayface and Poison Ivy and Mr. Freeze and all that stuff, but then you still treat Batman seriously.
Right.
I mean, you treat all of it seriously, but that doesn't mean you remove the fantastical elements from it.
I know you guys are aware of the school of thought that Batman is a psychological persona and each one of the villains are a facet of...
Correct.
Okay. How would you feel like an actual Batman universe where that's kind of the setup?
I would be fine with that, but that needs to be how it ends, not how it starts.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be a twist at the end where you find out, oh, Bruce Wayne's just crazy.
Right.
And he just did not handle the death of his parents well. Which, even if all that stuff really did happen, he did not handle the death of his parents.
And Alfred is just a very gentle and kind...
orderly.
At Arkham or whatever.
Yeah. But no, I mean, that's one of my favorite fan theories. That would be really cool to wrap up a series that way one time. But I think it needs to be a stinger at the end that just kind of makes you want to blow your brains out, not the initial setup. If you do it at the beginning, I have no investment.
Just like
because none of it's real.
No Way Home. No Way Home.
Yeah.
When Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man says that he got vengeful, that'd be amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, I would like to actually go back and revisit that. I want to see that.
That would be amazing.
So there was a fan theory about that, which it's been a fan theory for a while that Andrew Garfield is the Spider-Man from Sony's Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
And the best that I've seen is that, in that movie, in No Way Home, he says he quit pulling his punches, which we know that Spider-Man is supposed to be one of the single most physically strong characters in the MCU. So him not pulling his punches would be a big deal.
Like kill people. Big deal.
Yeah.
But then all the posters in Morbius, which didn't even make it into the movie, but they were stills of it, were Spider-Man with the words murderer spray painted over it.
But that poster was of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. So
Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man on the skin of a loading screen from the PlayStation video game.
yeah. So whatever.
Yeah, it makes no sense. But I did see that one. I was just oh, that would be good.
But yeah, I mean, contextually, that would make sense because Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man has not had a Venom. And so if he was in the Tom Hardy's universe, it would actually still make sense.
Correct. But yeah, I would love to. I'd watch that movie. That's how you save it, Sony.
There are some sources, reliable sources, that are saying Andrew Garfield has been having active discussions with Sony to come at least make more appearances, not have his own movies, because it sounds like he's against having just a standalone Spider-Man film again, but he is willing to make more appearances.
That'd be cool.
So,
Secret Wars?
Yeah. Another source is saying that Tobey Maguire will face side by side with Wolverine in Secret Wars.
Ooh, that's fun.
Like Hugh Jackman's Wolverine?
Possibly.
Interesting. They're going to go hard for Secret Wars, aren't they?
Another thing coming out is that RDJ, Robert Downey Jr., might actually be back for Secret Wars. Like, not just a rumor, but like heavy speculation is that he's signed on officially.
Is anyone else really disappointed with what RDJ has done since he left
Iron Man? Cutting his hair?
No.
Okay, first off,
I mean, like becoming Lex Luthor? What?
I was going to say, first off, RDJ for Lex Luthor. 1,000%.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm still on board with John Cryer.
John Cryer did a good job.
Yeah.
What do you mean disappointed?
What has he done?
Well, I think he actively took some time off after Iron Man, after Endgame. He is going to be in Oppenheimer. He did that Dr. Dolittle movie.
I was going to say, that's what he did immediately following Iron Man.
Yeah.
And that was...
I know his production company was working on Pinocchio. I think he was going to be in it. I don't know if that movie is still happening or not.
I haven't seen it, but apparently he was in a movie called The Judge.
That was
supposed to be really good.
Years ago.
Yeah, that was a few years ago. Him and Old Duvall.
But it was after his Iron Man fame.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
But that's kind of my point, though. He's done more while he was Iron Man than since he's been Iron Man.
Yeah.
Still waiting on that Sherlock sequel.
Oh, yeah. That's one from 2023. That's Sherlock 3 announcement.
There we go.
Yeah. So that was good.
Well, thank you for that segue. So let's talk about what old school franchises deserve an update / revival that we want to hear from in 2023.
Now,
The Last Starfighter.
Oh, dear God.
He was ready for that one.
Are we talking
That's just
movies?
always there. It's like it's one of the ones that just need to be.
Are we talking movies, TV shows, video games?
Anything?
All of them.
Just
All the
anything,
above.
any
All the
franchise?
above. Yep.
Animorphs.
Whoa.
Wow,
That's a throwback.
yeah.
I want an Amazon Animorph series.
Amazon specifically.
Specifically.
Give it all of the money.
Like, literally, Amazon's making everything that's going to be rebooted.
Yep.
I want an 80s accurate Masters of the Universe.
There you go. All right.
Live action.
Did you watch the new cartoon?
Yeah, it was okay.
That's what I heard.
Yeah,
Like, it wasn't bad.
it wasn't horrible. It wasn't horrible.
Okay.
This was actually top of mind because I have been watching the new National Treasure series on Disney Plus, and actually, the longer it goes, like the first episode, I was not sold, but the more episodes they have been releasing, I'm actually really enjoying it. Specifically because in the 4th episode, they brought back the Riley Poole character with the same actor that played him in the movies.
Ah, yes, the cheapest character. I mean, I'm just saying you don't have to pay him Nick Cage money to get him to show up.
But he was fantastic. He carried the episode, and actually he made several references to still working with Nick Cage's character on the mystery that they had a cliffhanger on in National Treasure 2. So
You want a National
I
Treasure
want National
3?
Treasure 3 with Nick Cage back.
I'd watch the crap out of it.
I'm just saying, if Harrison Ford can come back for like 5 extra movies,
Yeah.
Nick Cage, what are you doing?
Well, it sounds like Nick Cage is on board. They just have not found a script yet. Jerry Bruckheimer really wants to make it happen.
Which is tricky. You have to at least have the illusion of intelligence.
Yeah.
Because it's a puzzle.
Historical
So, you know
accuracy.
what I mean? Yeah. It's. I guess I was going to say it has to be smart. I guess it doesn't technically have to be smart, but it has to at least look and sound smart.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do.
Yeah. So yeah, National Treasure is, I think, the most recent time I've ranked it is my third favorite movie of all time. So I would definitely like to see a continuation of that series.
Okay.
Before I do more, what do you guys think? What other series do you want to revive?
Well, we've already talked about the Dark Tower series.
That one's
I'm
happening.
super stoked for that.
Yeah.
On that note, I doubt this would happen. I think it would be cool because it is Amazon. They have all the money in the world. Because that series ties in pretty much all of the Stephen King universe. It would be cool if Amazon got to do a lot of the adaptations that tie into it. So that when those characters cross over, it could actually cross over. Like, spoiler alert for a 30-year-old series. But the Man in Black, which is the opening antagonist, we find out about a third of the way into the stories is Randall Flagg, which is
from The Stand.
Which is the antagonist from The Stand. So it'd be cool if they did a version of The Stand where that same actor played Randall Flagg and they could actively tie it into
I like that.
Into the thing. So I mean, like, it's, again, that's asking a lot. I don't expect that, but man, would it be cool if they did it.
And it's the main person who's pulling all those strings is called the Crimson King. And they could call this universe the universe of the Crimson King.
Yeah. So I mean, like, it's
which,
again, that's a big ask.
Hold on, I want to pause for a sec. Jason looked so proud of himself for that. Like,
the pure excitement on his face.
Someone write that down.
No. It's more like I'm on board with this. Like, I think it's a really good idea, Josh. Like,
because like you could
be treated as a universe.
Like I don't think we ever need another Salem or another
Sailor Moon.
No, I'd watch it live action. So
Yeah.
I think it's called Sucker Punch.
Yeah, pretty much. Thank you, Zack Snyder. But no, like, we don't need another Pet Cemetery. We don't.
Yeah.
But if we were going to do another Pet Cemetery, it should tie into the Dark Tower. Because it does.
Yeah, I did not know that.
I think that they should also quit trying to get away from the storylines of his books so much.
Yeah. Like, they're pretty good. That's why they're popular. You don't need to change it. So no, the whole idea is all of the dark, all of the mystical things that happen in the Stephen King universe is all the Kingiverse is all based on the same magical principles, and all the stories don't necessarily take place in the same literal universe, but they're all universes that are connected, and the Dark Tower is what holds all those universes together.
Right.
Oh.
And so, like, even the demon in It, which you find out later on is actually an alien from another universe, the whole reason It was able to go to that little town is because the Dark Tower is failing and falling apart.
Oh.
And so, like, it's cool because I don't think he really planned that when he started the series, but by the time he got to the end of it, he had done so much cocaine that that he just kind of said, no, this is why it all fits. And he pulled it off. And so it's like, literally, it all comes back to the Dark Tower. Everything that happens in every book is possible because of the Dark Tower.
So that could be the most awesome film universe ever if they just did it.
Correct.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But oh my God, it would also be the most expensive film universe
Well,
ever. But theoretically, I mean, Stephen King adaptations have always done well financially, even if they weren't good. So theoretically, you should get more money out of it than you put into it.
True.
No.
So I don't know. That's a big ask, but it would be so cool if they did it.
On the note of Stephen King, I while I was looking at the movies that I'm looking forward to this year, turns out there is a remake of Salem's Lot coming out this year,
which should
in
use
April.
Characters that will then appear in the Dark Tower.
So I also want to add, you guys missed an excellent wordplay.
Oh no, did we? I hate that.
You used Kingiverse instead of Steven Universe.
Oh,
No one?
what's the word?
No.
Steven.
Oh.
Like Stephen
There's
Strange?
a show on Cartoon Network called Steven Universe.
Oh, never heard of
Oh,
Never heard of it.
Sorry, bro. It's just a reference I didn't get.
All right, yeah, you can cut that out. All right, cool.
No. We need to be told when we don't know the good things. And we don't know the good things.
There's gonna be some guy in California that's just like, oh, dude.
So let's keep this conversation going. So what other old school franchises deserve a revival?
Okay, so this is a little soon, but it kind of plays into the whole big book series. I would really like to do, I don't think it has to be a TV show because it was overly stretched. I think it's one of the things I didn't like about it. I would love for them to start making Jack Ryan movies again that cover the entire career of Jack Ryan.
So that's been my one con for the John Krasinski series on Amazon, is that in the novels, Jack Ryan, he moves up the ladder.
He ends up being president of the United freaking States.
Yeah. And like in between that, he was the CIA director and a whole bunch of stuff.
Like most of the Tom Clancy books end up involving, if not directly being about, Jack Ryan.
Yeah. And in the series, he's just been the low-level analyst / kind of field agent for 3 seasons now. They're not going to get to him being the president with the last season. So I'm just like,
and that's
this was the perfect opportunity to have the full picture character.
But see, that's why I'm saying I think it would almost work better if they went back to being movies.
Yeah.
Because movies force you to move along.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's one of the downsides of TV shows is sometimes you feel like you've got all the time in the world.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't.
So I do know that Amazon has greenlit, starring Michael Pena. Is that how you say his name? Pena. Starring Michael Pena, him playing Ding Chavez, which is the leader of Rainbow Six.
Correct.
So it sounds like they're trying to build out a bigger Jack Ryan universe, but it's going to be without Jack Ryan now for some reason.
Does Krasinski seem like the kind of guy who would still pop in every once in a while to build continuity?
He popped in as what's his face? And
Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And then he popped out.
He shredded out.
He got his head popped.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
Anyways, I don't know. He could.
That was the joke.
He could.
I don't know. What other series? I see on the list here Max Payne.
Dude,
I would love a new Max Payne game. Even if it was a reboot.
Max Payne 3, obviously Max Payne the original was just it's a classic. It is one of the best games of all time. Max Payne 2 was kind of meh, but Max Payne 3, that was a fun game.
That was one of the best games.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been way too long since we've had a Max Payne game. It's definitely time for one of those.
I definitely played a lot of the, I see in your list, Medal of Honor back in the day.
Medal of Honor.
I don't know what it was.
Did they just lose to Call of Duty? Is that what it is?
So
That's what I feel like it.
They rebooted Medal of Honor to be modern day. I think it was, 2013. Don't quote me on this. So they just renamed it Medal of Honor. It was a modern day take. It was about tier 1 operators. Then they had a sequel, Medal of Honor Warfighter, a couple of years later, and it was trash because it launched with tons of game-breaking bugs and stuff.
Nice.
And so I think it was EA. They shoved the franchise completely because of that poor reception. But I loved them. I loved those 2 games. So I definitely want that back. It's been a decade now. So yeah, I've definitely.
Can we re-release the GameCube so I can play it on that?
No.
Fits in your emulator. Fits in your pocket now.
No.
So another one on the list. I think we were talking about it the other day, Corey. Mercenaries.
Mm-hmm.
With that, I mean, think about the level of destruction you could do now, especially if you built it in like Unreal,
yeah,
or something like that.
So for those that don't know, the original Mercenaries game, it came out in early 2000s. I think it was like maybe 2003 or 4, maybe even 2.
It was an Xbox title.
Yeah,
and OG Xbox title.
It was so cool because it was open world. It was one of the original, like one of the first open world games, and one of the first games to have full destruction. It was a military game, so you were a mercenary that was hunting the deck of 52 cards of high target military targets. So you were going after like generals and stuff. I think it was like the Korean army.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure the Ace of Spades was Kim Jong-un.
Yeah,
or his dad.
Yeah, like they did, I think it was like they definitely used real names if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
but you could call in like airstrikes and stuff, and like they destroyed the entire.
Like you could level cities.
Yeah, and it was so much fun. And they had a sequel, it was Mercenaries 2, and actually it had a lot of marketing around it. It was like supposed to be a big blockbuster game, but it was just kind of, it was a
I feel like they poured a lot of money into it. It just wasn't any fun.
It was not fun. Yeah. And they were working on a third one, but it got scrapped, and that development studio ended up getting closed down.
Bring it back.
Yeah,
Bring
I would
it
definitely
back.
like a proper
Bring it
Mercenaries
back.
game. But another game I have on my list, Brothers in Arms.
Oh, this was so good.
So that was so I consider that one of the big 3 World War II era shooters. So it was Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, and Brothers in Arms.
Dude, it was the best.
And what made Brothers in Arms so special is that it actually really made the story a central character.
Well, that, and it wasn't a run and gun shooter.
Yeah.
It was a tactical shooter. And
It was team based, wasn't it? Like
and you had
your
control over your squad.
Yeah.
And so things like suppressing fire and cover and flanking and everything like that came into it. And then on top of that, it was a highly responsive, very well managed shooter.
Yeah.
And at the time, it was the only World War II game that was actually mature.
Yeah, it was still coming out when Call of Duty started to shift towards modern day stuff.
Yeah.
So it was one of the last survivors of World War II proper games.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
So have we completely moved into video games now, or
we're just bouncing back and forth.
We're just free form, bro.
so there is a very large collection of stories and books that were started back in 1977 by an author, Terry Brooks. And all of the stories take place in Shannara, starting with
Talking about
Sword
the
of
Chronicles of
Shannara.
Shannara?
Huh?
Talking about the Chronicles of Shannara?
The Shannara Chronicles? Yeah, they
Yeah.
tried to do it on MTV, and it just
I
kind of
vaguely
sucked.
remember that.
Yeah.
MTV.
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
I
kinda
vaguely
sucked.
remember that. Yeah.
Kind of sucked, but it was still I liked anyway. There are probably 30 books written by
Good
this
Lord.
guy in Shannara. He's got trilogies of trilogies, and they're all just kind of fantastic. So I would like to kind of see that. He also writes kind of a more tongue-in-cheek series of books called Magic Kingdom for Sale, Sold. And it's kind of a dimension shifting story where this lawyer, he lost his wife, and he's kind of like aimlessly going through life, and he found this catalog of rare and extravagant items for sale, and one was a Magic Kingdom for sale. And so he bought it. Sure enough, it was real, and he gets transported to this kingdom, and everything's in disrepair. Everything's falling apart. Bad guys are running rampant, but it's funny. It's funny as hell. And I kind of would like to see that made into maybe even a series or something like that. So Terry Brooks has got some really good ideas that I think that could be translated into some movies, even maybe some video games. But that's just kind of an untapped media that I think should be brought over to movies, series, stuff like that.
Going off of that, so a novel series that I would like to see continued in live action film is the Robert Langdon film series, because we had the Tom Hanks movies, the Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, and Inferno, but we never got the fourth one, The Lost Symbol. There's actually 5 books, or Origin, which actually just came out a couple years ago. But there is a 4th book that came out before Inferno, I think, that they just never made into this series with Tom Hanks. I'm just like, come on, those movies are awesome. I want to see more of that. So I would definitely like to see that 4th and hopefully eventually 5th movie with Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks or somebody else?
Oh, definitely Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks without long hair? Yeah.
No.
I was not a fan of that long hair.
That's
Not
literally
a fan.
why I did not watch the movie.
No,
He looked like, no, did not.
I
work
don't
for
think
him.
it's going to happen. It's wishful thinking, but
Didn't they do the Da Vinci Code first?
yeah. They went out of
And
order
then
for
they
whatever
did.
reason.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're probably not going to make a 4th one just because the 3rd one did not make much money. So,
Which one was the
probably not
God
gonna happen.
particle with Ewan McGregor parachuting in as the Pope?
That was
Angels and Demons.
Angels, okay.
Yeah, that one was kind of ridiculous, that part. But I love those movies. I love those movies so much.
But I want to put in my thing. I want a reboot out of. It's more like not a reboot, but like a try again. I want Timothy Oliphant to try again on Hitman.
So you specifically want Oliphant back?
Yeah. Yes. He's a great actor.
I mean, I like Oliphant.
I love the games.
I actively avoided that movie because it looked so bad.
That's why I want to see it try again, because it's like it might have the Amazing Spider-Man problem. Like, great actor, terrible script.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's definitely a good actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Timothy.
Well,
Oliphant.
Christian, jumping off that point, I'd love to see maybe a side series or maybe a single movie of his character from The Mandalorian, Timothy Oliphant.
I forget. Oh my
The
gosh.
sheriff.
Yeah.
Did he die?
No.
No, he was in a back to tank.
That's right. Okay, yeah. Okay, I remember something bad happened to him.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, speaking of do-overs in Star Wars, can we just try again with Boba Fett?
Are they getting a season 2?
They haven't said they are.
I would recommend that they don't do that.
I mean, yeah, I'd see. It was a. I mean, we have a Boba Fett character just staring at us right here. He is.
There's no reason this should not be an amazing series.
Yeah, like that should have been a much better series.
The problem
it
is
wasn't bad.
They tried to make a Boba Fett series where Boba Fett didn't act like Boba Fett.
Yeah,
and it should have been geared towards a mature audience.
Yeah, and
it should have been geared for the Andor audience.
And half of it was not even.
Yeah. 2 out of the 5 friggin' episodes he wasn't even in.
And they were the best episodes.
Also,
I'm sorry. You need if you're gonna have him fight, you want him to be an action hero. Have him be an action hero in a way that a 60-year-old could be an action hero.
Yeah,
you want him to Liam Neeson it?
Whatever. Yeah, I mean, he honestly hand-to-hand combat for against several people at the same time is not something that's realistic. Nor did they make it look realistic. And
it's not like he doesn't have the gear.
Right.
Like he could Batman his way out of that.
Exactly. He could Batman, of course, when you say Batman his way out of it, it's the same thing as, using his brain, but just outsmart them. He doesn't and anyway, I'm just like if you're going to have that character or that actor play the character, be a little more realistic in how they settle their disputes.
I was just going to say, since we're on the topic of Star Wars.
Okay, so I was going to circle back to Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'm going to finish off this revival thing. So the last thing I want to get revived are the Tom Clancy games. Old school Rainbow Six, old school Ghost Recon, not this Rainbow Six Siege crap where it's online multiplayer only.
It's not coming back.
I want the old school single player campaign, tactical, squad based shooters.
It's not coming
like
back.
Rainbow Six Vegas.
Yes.
Rainbow Six Vegas 2. And Ghost Recon Future Soldier. Those games were awesome. I don't want to play with other people. I want to play by myself. Like Ghost Recon Wildlands and Breakpoint, they were fun. I actually had one of my best friends play with me. So like those were actually fun times. But it was not Ghost Recon. It was something separate. I just want the old school Ghost Recon squad-based shooter.
Yeah.
I just want squad-based shooters back in general. Like that genre has died.
Yeah.
And Tom Clancy did that so well. I just want that genre back.
I want the sequel to Star Wars. What was the one where you played as the elite clone troopers and it ended on a cliffhanger? I
just saw that case in my cabinet earlier this morning. I forget. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I completely forgot what it is. But it literally ended on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And that was like 20 years ago.
Yeah. So thank you for Star Wars. Bringing it back to Star Wars.
But
what do we want to see from Star Wars?
My final thing that I want from Star Wars is either a TV show or ideally a set of movies that takes place in the past. And I'm talking like thousands of years in the past. I want like old Republic movies.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a Darth Revan saga.
Yeah.
Like that would be amazing. And we just get away from Skywalkers.
They
are nothing but trouble.
I still want Kyle Katarn in live action. Give me a Kyle Katarn movie.
I was just thinking that. We need a Jedi Knight series.
Who should play Kyle Katarn?
Oh, I had someone picked out. Oh, who was it?
Jeff Foxworthy.
No.
He might be a Jedi right now. One of your X-Wings is primer colored.
So
Bryan Cranston.
No.
But you're not sure.
Nathan
you were kind of like, wait.
I pictured it.
Wait.
Nathan Fillion.
Nathan Fillion wouldn't be bad.
I'd like that.
First off, I never turned down Nathan Fillion anything, really.
Yeah. What other things do we want from Star Wars?
I want the Star Wars game that you canceled back.
1313.
Yes, and the KOTOR remake.
Yeah, so that was on my list. So actually, let's talk about that. So updates on video games that have been announced, but we have not really seen anything from. So that was actually on my list. So Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake. It was originally announced at the PlayStation Showcase in September 2021. And we actually discussed on episode 17 of this podcast that...
Check episode 17. The little Stanley guy, remember? We talked about that?
Yes.
I remember. Yes.
Okay.
So Aspire Media...
Go back to episode 35.
So it was announced back on that episode, I think it was like back in August maybe, Aspire Media, the developer behind the studio, they had actually shelved the game, at least temporarily, because the playable demo they sent to Lucasfilm, it was not received well, even though the developers were actually very proud of their work. So it has not been canceled. They're saying that the earliest that it could come out is 2025. Like the studio's saying that. Like they're still working on it.
It's canceled.
It's shelved.
It's canceled.
It's shelved.
That's almost worse.
So other games that we have known about, but have not heard about. So the top one, I think, for a lot of us is Elder Scrolls 6.
I'm not convinced it's a real game.
Yes.
Originally announced
This is ridiculous.
at E3 2018. So it's been, 5 years now?
Yep.
They told us it was going to be after Starfield, which also has not come out yet. It might be out by 2030. But they're actively working on it, but we have not seen anything from the game.
I'm just not sure it's a real game.
Obviously, they're making an Elder Scrolls 6. They can't keep releasing Skyrim every couple of months.
Is it obvious?
Really? Because they kind of have been re-releasing Skyrim.
And people buy it.
And we buy it over and over and over again. I have 8 copies of Skyrim.
But also just using that as... It makes sense to make another one, because then they can keep releasing that one over and over again for the next 20 years.
So here's my question. At what point are development times going to get so long that they actually start hurting the game? Because for example, like first off, we're already there. I'm answering my own question. But for example, the studio that gets a lot of crap about it is Bethesda, because their games take so long that every time the Fallout game finally makes it to shelves, it looks dated.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't dated 6 years ago when they started working on it. You know what I mean? But that's why the first mods that come out are always visual improvement mods. Because it took 8 years to make the game, and so it looks 3 years old by the time it comes out.
So a lot of studios are dealing with backlash about crunch development. So developers working 60-hour, 70-hour weeks to get a game out on time. And I think a lot of studios are now realizing, we can't keep doing that because we're going to get lawsuits and stuff. And so now development cycles have to take years and years to avoid that criticism.
I'm not looking for a real answer. I'm just saying.
Like I believe Activision's getting actively sued for that in California because they had crunch around a lot of their games and stuff like that. So anyway,
what else?
We're getting a Wolverine game from Insomniac Games, the same developers behind the Spider-Man games.
I had an amazing trailer.
I forget when it was announced. It was, I think, over a year ago at this point.
Yes.
But we have not seen anything from it.
Like not even a title card.
Not even an update about development, how it's going. No expected release date. The only thing we know about it was that little teaser trailer and that it shares the same continuity with the Spider-Man games. That's it. So it will be nice to have a little update about that this year. Wonder Woman, a game that I actually completely forgot about.
Yep.
It's on the way from Monolith, the developer behind games such as Middle Earth, Shadow of War, and the Gotham City Imposters. It was announced about a year ago at the Game Awards 2021, but we have not seen anything from it since then. And similarly, Indiana Jones, another game I completely forgot existed. It was announced with a teeny tiny teaser trailer.
Teeny tiny teaser trailer.
It is coming from studios such as Bethesda and Lucasfilm Games and Machine Games. It was announced, I think, a year ago again at this point, but we still have not seen anything or heard anything since then. So there's a lot of these awesome games that have been announced, but we have not really heard anything about in over a year.
Yeah.
Keeping the train going, the James Bond game from, who is it from?
Studio
IO Interactive.
Yeah, studio that does Hitman.
Yeah. That one was announced over a year ago at this point. Still heard nothing from it. So a bunch of these big franchises, big characters have these awesome games on the way, but we don't know anything about them. So hopefully this is the year we finally get some details about these awesome games I'm looking forward to.
Do you guys remember the game Siphon Filter?
Yes.
I would love to get that, have that kind of given the updated treatment.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that always comes up when people are talking about franchises they would like to get revived.
Okay,
Someone's always saying Siphon Filter. Yeah.
Okay.
I want new installments in some big RTS games, real-time strategy games.
Mhm.
So, like, I would really love a new Star Wars RTS game. Like, there was that Galaxy at War game for a long time.
Mhm.
That would be baller, because now you could do, like, thousands of characters on screen.
Yeah.
And I love the Total War Warhammer series. I want Total War Warhammer 40K. That would be insane.
That doesn't exist.
No.
What?
But it should.
I mean, Total War Warhammer exists, doesn't it?
Correct. But it's the fantasy setting.
Yeah.
Not the sci-fi setting.
Interesting.
So yeah, I'd play the crap out of that.
This is supposed to be a big year for games, but we also have these other big anticipated games that we don't know anything about. I want this to be the year.
Well, I'm excited because the Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 is supposed to be coming out at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking forward to. I mean, Spider-Man, yeah, okay, whatever.
Okay,
I mean, I
don't
want to play it.
do you mean Spider-Man? How dare you?
No, I really enjoyed the Spider-Man game. Yes, you're
How
right. But I'm
dare
more
you.
excited for the Final Fantasy VII Part 2.
I'm still looking forward to Starfield. Another one of those games that they have not really shown that much about, and there's still no hardcore release date. But I really want to play Starfield.
I'm looking forward to building my own ship.
All right, what else? What else do we want from this year? Christian, I know you're sick over there. And I know you're
Yeah, I was just thinking to myself, like, this medicine's kicking in. And I am zoning out. But as we talked about it, yeah, I was really excited about the Spider-Man 2 game. Since now, it's just last year, the end of the last year, I got into the first one.
Yeah. 2023, anything else? We're already over an hour, so we can cut this off anytime we want. But we haven't really talked about Star Trek.
Just keep doing what you're doing, man.
While I was looking at, going through the list of upcoming movies, TVs, and whatever, I found a couple of things that I didn't even know were even on the radar. And they're not really anything that I think that we would watch together as a podcast group. But there is a season, and they're doing a Mel Brooks sequel as a series instead of a movie, History of the World Part 2.
Oh my God.
Right? And I was like, what is this? So,
First off, shout out to Mel Brooks for still being alive.
Right?
Wow.
He's
I
got to
guess-
be in his 90s now.
laughter truly is the best medicine, I guess.
Yeah.
But I thoroughly enjoyed the History of the World Part 1. And
I mean, his whole body of work
yeah.
is hilarious.
He did the producers, right?
He did do the producer.
That is like one of my favorite
Yeah.
movies of all time.
Yeah.
That movie's ridiculous. The stage production was ridiculous. I love that.
Robin Hood Men in Tights, some of the best dance scenes ever.
Anyway, what else? What else?
Anyway, that's what I found. We haven't talked about 65 too much, but I'm kind of interested in that. It seems kind of an out there, off the radar sci-fi.
Yeah,
movie,
I saw
but
the trailer to that. And
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
I don't know what to think about
Who was in that?
Adam Driver.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Do we think it's for 65 million years ago?
I think that's what it stands for.
Is that the 65 in question?
Yeah. That's
I'm
what I
intrigued.
think
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
yeah.
I just wanted to take his shirt off so we can find out whether or not the weird pants thing was a Star Wars thing or an Adam Driver thing.
I think it's an Adam Driver thing. He's very awkward.
That's just where his waist is.
Yeah.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, is that just
Like his hip bones are touching his ribs.
Is that Sith fashion, or are you just weirdly shaped?
Oh, but what I'm really excited for, because I'm a really big fan of the franchise, is the new Scream movie.
Yeah.
See, I thought we were done with Scream.
No.
No, man. It's,
No, we can't.
it's going strong.
We can't.
Okay, I'm not saying it has to be. I'm just saying I thought we were.
But one thing that was worrying me was people were comparing it to when that one Jason goes to New York or
Mhm.
whatever the other adjective is. Since the new Scream movie is based in New York, they're like, oh, they could just make it just like that. I'm like, no, no, we can't make it like that.
Have you seen the new trailer where he's on a subway?
Yes.
Yeah, that looks
and that
awesome.
whole trailer says nothing.
Yeah.
But says everything.
Mhm.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I
And-
love it.
Yeah.
I saw the first 3 Scream movies in theaters as a kid.
Okay.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's one of those. I've only ever seen the first one, but I know that they're all awesome, especially this most recent one.
Yes.
That's definitely one of those series I want to go binge one weekend. the fan base for those movies is all over Twitter. I see those movies mentioned all the time.
Yeah, there's a crazy bunch of people, but I am super excited about that. And we talked about this very small amount of time, but I'm excited for this Megan movie. Super excited. I don't know why. Like it's very much kind of like a ripoff of Chucky, but in like female form.
Oh, Megan. I think you said
Megan.
Mecca.
No,
That's just your cold.
Megan, yes.
Okay. Megan.
Megan.
Yes. I don't know if I could watch that movie. That looks terrifying.
Oh, for sure. It's like the nightmare people have that the little girls from The Shining are actually terrifying.
Yeah.
Other than being in the hallway. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I couldn't. That looks so creepy. No.
I don't know if you can tell, but I like creepy things.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love that for you.
Yeah, I kind of picked up on that because you did like 2 horror movies in a row. I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of weird.
Can we have a Scream marathon, Josh? You in?
Yes,
Nice. Let's do it.
Oh yeah.
we'll do it. When
Jason?
we're done here.
I've never seen them, so sure.
Okay. Anything else that we want from this year? We have 363 days ahead of us. We didn't really talk about Star Trek, so I'm just going to put it out there. One thing I want from this year is the official announcement that they are making and releasing Star Trek 4 with Chris Pine and Zoe Saldana and what's his face. So
Zachary Quinto and Carl
thank
Urban.
you. Thank you.
My least favorite Spock.
I need this to happen. They've been teasing it and then canceling it and then teasing it again for like 3, 4, 5 years now. I need it to happen.
Yeah, me too.
I want them to announce. Riker after Picard is wrapped up.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Well, all right. I think we're just going to wrap this up here. We've already been talking for over an hour about everything we want from 2023, and I don't even think we talked about everything because there's so much we could want from this year.
There's just a lot I'm trying to manifest.
Yes,
Isn't that what people do now?
Yeah,
They don't work hard. They
Manifestation.
just manifest.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, well, the us old schoolers who live in that existence, we call it mental equivalency.
wow.
My aunt actually did that the other day. She wanted to manifest winning the lottery.
How'd that go?
She won $4.
Oh,
Nice.
snap. Yeah. Okay.
So you have to be a little more specific.
Yeah.
How much
I
did-
want to win big.
Yeah.
In the lottery.
So looking at our upcoming release schedule, there's still nothing coming up this next week. Our next review is actually going to be The Last of Us series on HBO, coming out January 15th. That's still a couple weeks away, but that is coming up. Yeah, stay
I'm
tuned.
super excited about that.
Yeah, right. So stay tuned next week for episode number 39 of Eat Sleep Nerd. We will hopefully have some news to talk about again. Hopefully everybody starts going back to work and gives us something to talk about.
Yeah. Thoughts and prayers to Jeremy Renner and his family.
Yeah.
Yes.
Apparently had actually a pretty traumatic accident. Got airlifted to the hospital.
Yeah.
So they're saying he's in stable but critical condition. So
Which could
hopefully
mean
we'll hear more on
anything.
that. Yeah, like that's best of luck to him. We all love Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Um,
Everything he does.
Yeah.
Like multi-time Oscar nominee.
yeah, he's always good. So
His music's really good too.
yeah, it's not bad. So
Yeah.
for serious, Mr. Renner, hope you're doing okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So shout out to people who are starting to find our other media on YouTube and
The YouTube
and other places. Apparently the reaction or the trailer or the
Everyone that found us because of
podcast where
our
we did the RRR, right?
everyone that found us because of our RRR review.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. We are happy to have you.
Yeah,
Please,
yeah,
we
thank
hope you stay.
If you're new here, stay. Click that subscribe button, but also share us with your friends. And also, hey, whenever we post a new episode on YouTube, because that's where you guys found us, leave a little comment. Tell us what to go watch.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us what to talk about. Expose us to new things. Every time we watch new things we're not used to, we enjoy it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we'll watch RR again.
yeah.
If that's what you need to love us,
Yeah.
Right.
I'll watch it again.
Just do it like a deep dive into the movie.
There you go.
Well, I mean, certainly there's got to be other sci-fi and fantasy movies from Tollywood and Bollywood that maybe we should be watching, and they would fall right in line with our podcast.
Be really
So
intrigued.
make
by
some
that,
recommendations.
actually.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
All right. So as we get into the new year, 2023, Jason, what should people be doing to live a long, happy life this year?
So invest in 401ks and IRA Roths.
Okay.
Avoid crypto. It's a scam.
Yeah. Okay, so don't do anything that we just said because we are not financial advisors and we do not want to be held responsible for any losses that you may take in the 2023 fiscal year. However, beyond that, we do recommend for a healthy mind and body that you eat, sleep, and nerd.
Happy Nerd Year, everybody.